together a testimonial. Welcome to this time, to this place, and to this place. We are here to recall and to remember the life of Jess Gallig, known to you as Dr. Gallig, as Jess, Dad, or even to one lucky person as Grandpa. Today we will celebrate Jess and share some stories of his life. We will talk about his remarkable intellect, his fierce will, his sharp wit, and his unwavering love for his beloved family. In our time together, we may cry and we may laugh. Together, we begin to reweave the torn tapestry of your community, your friendships, and your family life without Jess's passionate and formidable presence. Please, do not be afraid to cry in this time. It is a remarkable act of respect. Washington Irving has said that there's a sacredness in tears. They are not the mark of weakness, but of power. They speak more eloquently than 10,000 tongues. They are messengers of overwhelming grief and unspeakable love. Jess was a brilliant and passionate man with a fascinating and engaging life. However, the last few years of his life were challenging. Jess lived with type 1 diabetes since he was young, and in his later years he battled dementia. As Jess's health declined, the challenges of taking care of him and keeping him safe grew and grew for his family. And they are deeply grateful for the support from the Scottish Canadian Care Home, where he lived since last November. And they are especially thankful to the caring staff at Carlington House. In his final days, Jess was frail, but he still sought every opportunity to get outside and take in the trees and the beautiful sky. He could comment on daughter-in-law's reading of Shakespeare's Sonnet 116 and recite it from heart. The day before he died, he taught his beloved grandson Max the word fatuous. Jess left this world in peace and in good order. Max told his dad, "Don't worry, Dad, Grandpa's off climbing Mount Everest now." So in his last hours, it was the mother of his children who sang to him, who played him music, and then held his hand so that Jess could leave this world gracefully. Hearing the voice of his daughter in the distance, he drew his last breath on November 17th, 2018 at 8:30 p.m. He was loved, and he will be missed. When a good person dies, their friends gather together for many reasons. Life has touched them with a deep grief, and they need to be together, to look in friends' faces and see the common expression of hurt seems to take away the loneliness of their feeling and draws their hearts together in the blessed healing that we people can do for one another. And at such a time, the various faiths, which sustain us all separately, come together in a harmony, which acts across all creeds and assures us of the permanence of goodness, the inspiration of dedication, and the value of a serviceable life. It is well for us to speak of those qualities, which we treasured in our friend, for by speaking of them, they somehow become vital and enduring and grow into us, so that we take on what was noble and become more noble ourselves. John was iconoclastic, and while one may not be entirely certain what that means, in John's case it meant he did exactly what he wanted to. He was radical, subversive, persistent. He was generous, kind, and smart. He wasn't your typical parent or life partner. He was full of contradictions. He was a lifelong teacher of his students at VCC, of the children when they were young, and of anyone who happened to need firm direction in just how to do things properly. And when John took on a project, he did it fully and completely. He expected that of others, frequently telling them exactly how to do it. John was reliable and he was disciplined, demanding of his children and hard-working for them. He was very egalitarian at home. He got the kids ready to school, made them their lunches, and picked them up afterwards. He corrected their homework and drove them to their practices and all of the games, of course. He adored young children, particularly his grandchildren. So when daughter Sandra returned home for the summer with her children, who never, ever slept in late, John would fight his own impulses to stay in bed. He would take her children over to the park to feed the ducks, so his beloved daughter could get a few more hours sleep, and his even more beloved grandchildren, he got to play with them. As John had the summers off and his life partner Hilary didn't, John made several road trips all the way out to Montreal from Vancouver with the kids. 5 days, 4 children, and one very focused driver. When he arrived in Montreal at his parents' home, he'd hand the kids over and go golfing. John was generous, and he would go out of his way to make friends comfortable in his own home. Recently, he went out and he bought pizza for a young visiting friend, because in their house they had only health food in the cupboards. It's a simple thing, but it shows the generosity that extended to his grandchildren, his children, his friends, and his family. Mind you, John couldn't pass up a bargain. Hating to pay full price for anything, John loved to haggle in all the shops. Partner Hilary explained his methods from their early years in Montreal. He would say to her when they'd go into the shop, "Pretend you don't know me. Don't say anything, and do not in any way say that you like that item. It is a horrible piece of crap. A horrible thing that we could take off their hands for them." John liked bartering so much that he accidentally brought the price back up again on a Christmas tree because the vendor had dropped the price too quickly for him to have fun. Passionate and paradoxical, John was a sturdy foundation to all of his beloved family.